It's interesting, I get feedback. Some people aren't real thrilled with my posts, and that's fine. That everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I don't feed into that, but I just find it fascinating how social media has really taken hold of the right and the wrong, the better, the less
Yeah.
than.
Yes.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse, all the things. And it's just, I think it just feeds that narrative.
You're absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And once we can gain understanding that there's just a part of us that loves that right and wrong, it's innocent. It's part of this humanity, like we were just talking about. There's just a part of us that loves that right and wrong. But we can also have a choice and really kind of control I how much of my energy I put in that. When you stop feeding something, it eventually falls away, and it's compelling. It is so compelling at first to to seek. This is another point I want to bring up a second ago, is like we seek connection, and that colluding and commiserating can really, consciously or not consciously, help us feel like we're finding a touch point to connect with, and it's like, oh, because we want to belong. We want people around us to feel like they're heard. We want them to know we care. And colluding and commiserating, just as you said, fortifies those limited realities of right and wrong, good and bad, and it fortifies them. It doesn't dissolve them or blur the edges. It fortifies them. So I think it's all a challenge for us to, when we stay out of the right and the wrong and the good and the bad, what at first our mind will stay busy because it's trying to find a way to come get you back into the land of right and wrong, good and bad. And the fear of like, oh my God, if I don't connect with them via commiseration or colluding, or well, I don't know how to connect with them. I don't know. I don't know how to reach them. I don't know how to let them know I'm there for them. But it's interesting to kind of see what else is there if you don't, if you can listen.
I'm a victim,
There's a good person and a bad person out there,
yeah.
and they're trying to conquer us. You know what I mean? They're out to conquer us.
But it's again that polarity, right? The yin and the yang, the good, the bad, the right, the wrong. And yeah, I just like to swoop in and shine a light on a different perspective, a different, yeah.
It's an invitation to another reality.
Hmm.
Oh, it's as woo-woo as that sounds. It's like I'll kind of point to what was mentioned a while ago about some nights I put my head on the pillow and I'm enjoying it. It's so delicious. And other nights when I'm in a low mood and I put my head on a pillow, it's miserable. Okay. Now, in that moment, in that times when we are in, I'll say, a peaceful state of mind, you'll see opportunities and realities that don't exist when we're in that low state of mind. It looks gloom and doom in a low state of mind. And so I say that because there's being introduced to a fresh reality, or a reality your mind hasn't let you see, a burdened mind, a very heavy loaded mind, heavy thought loaded mind, depending on, like, you're going to see opportunities that are a match to that.
Right. Well, I think what I notice is from my own experience is when I'm feeling like in a low state of mind, I do oftentimes see two conflicting options. When I'm in a high state of mind, it's like an infinite number of options, and it's fun, it's freeing, you can create some wild ideas that may not be like, I'm not going to jump out of an airplane, but we could be fun and playful with it and then create something maybe a plate of options, a list of different options, and it just can be lighter and freer and innovative and creative.
Totally, totally. Where inspired thought comes from, and you just can notice that, like, to make it very practical, say you take colluding and commiserating off the table, just for like humanity challenge 101. I'm going to just see if I can go on a colluding and commiserating fast and just be present to somebody. That's going to give you that's going to, at first, might burden your mind, but if you stay with it, it's going to lighten your load. Because more of those thoughts of right and wrong can pass through versus make camp. So in that lightening your load, again, you're at that place of free will where you can choose what you listen to.
Yeah, I think the thing that comes up for me, it's interesting. I'm in a homeowners association of 45 homes, and there's a very big divide, a lot of colluding, a lot of commiserating. And I watch it with deep fascination and curiosity. And it's fascinating how they don't see what they're doing. They don't understand. And both sides are so defensive, and there's just these huge walls. And I had these thoughts the other day as I was raking, and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a way that I could open up some sort of class. And I thought, oh, nobody's going to show up because they don't see that there's anything wrong, right? You can't fix the things that you can't see, that are, your blind spots or whatever. But it's just interesting that they're just buckling down and really rooting into what they believe innocently is right. Both sides are I'm right, and just real, yeah, just in a low mood and a low state of mind and a low energy. And they're just, yeah, it's fascinating to watch that. And for me, I just think it's such an easier, lighter way. And again, I think some people that are in the deep rooted into the social media, what's right, what's wrong, and really grounded into that and reinforcing that, it's scary to think about going outside of that. Because that's unfamiliar, right? It's not familiar. It's not, their brain goes, oh, that's not in the comfort zone, the danger, danger, danger. So to be open and vulnerable and say, can we come together and maybe come up with an idea together? I don't, I was hoping that this new administration would change that, but it's not, unfortunately. But I just watch it from I watch it from the outside, and it's just fascinating how humans behave.
Yeah, and I think that's, to me, the other Me Too movement. Yes, so, when I see all the whatever I see, it's like, oh, bless their hearts, they can't see it. It's like, yeah, me too, me too. Because when I can't see it, I can't see it either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like we all kind of get folded into that omelet of humanity. It's like, yeah, me too, me too. But to your point about lightening your thought load, it's like just like you said, when you look at that group of 40 plus homeowners,
Mhm.
your level of understanding about understanding humanity is like every one of those people have their point of view from
Yeah.
the reality they sit in,
Yeah.
and that they're innocently seeing it from their individual reality.
Yeah.
Now, having just that little piece of understanding, how much would that take off an individual's mind and just not staying stirred up about all those different realities and how you might need to convince them or change them or how wrong they are, how right they are. You see, just
Right.
that little piece of going, they're seeing it from their way of seeing it.
Yeah. 45 different versions.
Exactly. 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 So you can see, I don't know if you can, I mean, if y'all can see that, it seems so obvious about how much churning I wouldn't have in my head if I know that they can't see it any other way than the way that they're seeing it from where they're sitting,
I
you know?
really, it's interesting because I see a lot of me.
Sure.
Like, the road stuff, the people that are voting one way travel very little of the road, but then the other side, those are the people that are voting for obviously more money towards the road, or the ones that are traveling, 8 miles of the road. And so and that's normal, that's natural, that's to be expected. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people that travel the longer part of the road. Anyways, it's just funny, the humanity, the funny humans.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and but even be able to have a sense of humor about
Yeah,
humans
yeah,
and the humanity of being human, that lightens your thought load.
yeah, it does.
You can take that in stride about, yeah, we all have blind spots and we are all believe our thinking and we all take what comes in our head seriously. We all think it's the voice of the ultimate truth, what occurs to me. And then we get so, I don't know, we can kind of get gobsmacked when you talk to somebody and they can't even see what you're seeing. And you're like, my gosh, it's right in front of you. Can't you see it? And they're like, I'm looking, but I don't see what you're seeing.
I love your metaphor of the movie theater too, because it's almost like we're in the movie theater, there's 45 different movies playing, and we're all going into different movie theaters. And then the other thing too that rises for me is, we're going to choose a movie, like let's say we all want comedy, we're all going to choose the comedy that we relate to. Like my husband and I, we have very different flavors of humor, and it's interesting, and what is that about? Like what is that about? It's fun. I love the curiosity of it.